Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of The Excelsior. It is October 13th, Friday the 13th.
Hell yeah.
It's with me as always, Dennis. I'm Ricky. This week we are talking about Loki, Season 2, Episode 2, and the creator. Little surprise there.
Is it a surprise? You told me to do it.
I wanted to watch it, and life happened. I'm at that age where I can start saying that excuse, and I really mean it.
I guess.
It shit happens when you get older, man.
I mean, we watched Morbius in the pandemic. All right, that's what we did. We did that. That was a choice we made, man. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm glad to be doing this on a Friday night. I'm old enough that I can say that I'd rather be doing this than being out.
I'm getting there. I think in 3 years I'll be fully there, but yeah. I like to dip my toe into other things on Friday nights as well.
Fair enough. Well, we're only here for a little while. We're just going to make the most of it, and we're going to talk about all the things that have been we've been nerding out about this week, and and then as particularly because we are a mostly Marvel podcast, we're obligated to talk about Loki, I guess.
Contractually we have to talk about Loki.
No contracts. We are not contracted by anybody, but other than the title that we gave ourselves.
You guys, anyone out there will show for you.
Yeah, and we clearly have no ambition of ever being a member of SAG.
Nope.
Oh well.
No, they got their deal. No,
wait,
WGA got the deal.
Yeah, WGA got their deal. Yeah. But SAG, what's surprising to me is that Lorne Michaels must be playing ball somehow, because Saturday Night Live comes back tomorrow.
Is that? I guess it is scripted. Yeah,
it's scripted, man. Yeah. But I'm just not sure how they get around the actor part of it. So unless
they make one-off deals, right?
Unless they did something. They could be playing ball for their own shirts, instead of worrying about what the networks and stuff get down to. So I'm just excited. Pete Davidson is hosting. I'm pretty excited to see it. I love me some Pete Davidson.
I love me some Pete Davidson. I love me some Ice Spice. So I am a munch. I ate the munch meal this morning from Dunkin'. So I'm ready for Saturday.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're not a munch. You wouldn't know.
I guess I'm not. So I know it's been a busy week for you, but what have you been nerding out
on? This week, what have I been nerding on this week? I bought a comic. I bought two comics. I bought some graded comics. I got me a new Marvel Hip Hop one that's not on the wall. I don't know why I'm pointing. And I got me that guy. Graded. I bought a graded copy of that guy.
You just have a blue background. I can't tell what anything is.
The Spider-Man 2099, the first issue.
The poster we got at a
the poster we got at the Mondo poster.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I still haven't done anything with my X-Men one.
You gotta swap it in. You got an X-Men one or the Wolverine one?
I got the X-Men one. Yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, Comic-Cons. New York Comic-Con started today, right? Or did it start yesterday? Or was it yesterday?
It might have been yesterday. See, pre-reg for Comic-Con is happening next month.
Oh, is it?
You see what they're doing? I didn't check the price, but there is now a legacy tier which gets you year-round access to the museum and all the events, and Comic-Con tickets. It's a one and done.
You mean Comic-Con tickets for next year?
Yes, they're selling passes at it's. I don't know the price. I want to say it's upwards of a grand, but you get the museum, whatever the highest tier museum thing is, and tickets for the next year.
Oh my goodness!
I kind of want that.
That's kind of Oh man,
Uh,
that's
How
good. It's good, right? It's good.
Comic-Con tickets are 300. Is Comic-Con stress worth 600, $700?
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, it is my absolute favorite place on earth. I'm talking about San Diego Comic Con,
Yes,
just to be clear.
the Comic-Con.
I have been to New York Comic Con. It's pretty cool Comic Con. It ain't San Diego Comic Con. That is an interesting proposition, Ricky. I will have to sell a kidney to make sure that happens. But yeah, no, that's really cool. That's awesome. What about any other things nerding out on?
I finished Murder in the Building, but I think we talked about that last week, right?
Or he told me on Wednesday, something like
Um,
that. Yeah.
that's a great show, and they're
Yeah.
doing another one. Did you finish it?
I have not finished it.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Spoilers, is going to be another season.
I finished The Devil's Plan on Netflix.
Sounds like an abortion movie.
Whoa.
I'm just
That it is a Korean game show, like reality game show competition, and where people compete in a series of mind games and puzzles and stuff and betrayal, and it starts with the game
okay.
of
I think you told me. Yeah.
it's pretty funny. Like every game takes like 7 minutes to give the rules to, and I'm just like, oh my god. But yeah, we finished it. It's pretty cool. It's nerdy. It's very nerdy. If you're into solving brain games and stuff like that, check it out. The characters that are on the show are also really funny, and God bless whoever did their VO, because sometimes they sound so bad and sometimes it's just so good. I can't. It's a mixed bag.
We're a week away from Spider-Man 2, right? The 20th. Did you order 19 inches of Venom?
I don't have a disc version of I don't have a disc PS5, so I would never order a disc one. No, I have a digital copy on the way.
You mean installed on your hard drive already?
No, I will be receiving a digital code in the near future, so don't worry about it. I will be playing that game. I will be poop socking the crap out of it. I think everybody knows that I have to play Spider-Man. So yeah, that's I'm just kind of like getting myself ready for it. Like I've been
getting the sock ready.
Getting I've just been starting.
Well, how poop socky are you? Are you midnight poop socking, or are you waking up poop socking?
Oh, well, I'll probably beat that game on the first day. I'll probably beat it on the first day. Maybe not. Maybe it'll take me 2 days. That weekend it will be completed probably. It's a very high likelihood. I will be getting my homework done as fast as possible in my my photography classes next week, just to be clear.
Where are the Spider-Man games better than the Batman games, in your opinion?
No.
Okay.
But
this could change it.
They are great Spider-Man games. They are the best Spider-Man games. I will say that. That is what they are.
All right.
I think the reason they're so good though is because they lean so heavily into what made Batman successful. You know what I mean? So
Batman
it's hard.
Definitely walked for this game to run.
Batman ran for this game to try to keep pace. Okay, just to be clear. I think Batman just does a better job of.
What's your favorite Batman game? I think that's
probably Arkham Knight.
The third one, or I guess the fourth one.
Yeah, technically the fourth one. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one. But I like Arkham City a lot also. It's a really great game.
I'm an Arkham Asylum guy. So.
Arkham Asylum is an excellent game though. Like it's just my brain exploded when I went from Arkham Asylum to Arkham Origins, because it just becomes like I can go outside now, you know, like it just makes it so crazy.
Yeah.
But the Spider-Man games are excellent, and I really do I love a lot of things about them. I hope that they're going to address the things that I didn't love in the new one. So, yeah, I'm excited to see that. Like the puzzles were pretty dumb. Like the puzzles,
they're a little dumb.
They were dumb, right? Like they felt like come on, Peter Parker's smarter than this. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and that's what I'm
people,
saying.
yeah.
Batman just gives you the whole experience. You get to solve mysteries. You get to like beat the crap out of people. You get to like, flirt with Catwoman. So you just get to do all the things. You drive the tank. It's a more comprehensive experience with the Batman games, and Spider-Man's just chasing, just really
You
just
want the
slightly better.
spider bogey.
I want the spider buggy. That'd be sick. Yeah. I think I want the verse though. I would like more of the verse to show up, and more. I think the thing that's missing from the Spider-Man experience is Spider-Man is notoriously the king of the team up. And I just feel like what's always weird about Spider-Man in movies, except for the MCU ones, is it's weird to have him exist in isolation.
Well,
You
he
know what I mean?
doesn't in the game technically, but I touched on my drunk conversation at Comic-Con with someone in their hand in that particular department.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that remembers confirming some stuff, and there's a part of me that remembers them not confirming some stuff around that field. So
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
just as conflicted with you in that regard. But I mean, I do appreciate that the presence is there for the other stuff in that world.
Yeah. So it has every opportunity to be better than the one before it, and possibly be a better game than any of the Batman ones individually. But the Batman franchise is just so consistent, and so each one tops itself.
Batman has the best villains. I think that's just like
he has better villains too.
Yeah.
Batman does. As much of a Spider-Man fan as I am, Batman's got better villains. A lot of them would get super murdered by Spider-Man's villains, though. They would just Spider-Man's villains would just obliterate Batman's villains, but it just it doesn't make them less interesting. So,
last thing I got excited for today, For All Mankind. I saw their new season's coming out. I think it's their final season.
Oh man, that's a good show.
That's coming back, Apple TV, and the Godzilla show, man. I love me some Godzilla, and I love me some Kurt Russell. I'm gonna love me some of that show.
Fair enough. I am not a big Godzilla fan, so it's hard to get me excited about Godzilla stuff. But Kurt Russell could do it. He could. He's pretty entertaining. What was I going to say? There was another nerdy thing that I wanted to talk about. Dude, I think you mentioned it to me before, earlier in the week or last week, but I watched footage of RoboCop Rogue City.
Oh, the game. Yeah, the demo's out right now.
Oh man. Oh, there's a demo I can just download?
I think it's PC only, but there's like a 3-hour demo of that game out right now.
But this game comes out next week or
yeah.
not next week, next month.
They showed it at the
Gamescom.
Game Awards last year. That's when it got announced.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they've been leaking footage, and I think it's supposed to be a sequel to
the second movie.
Yeah, so 2. So the new 3, and they got Peter, and I think those
I know they did.
The check boxes.
I watched about 10, 12 minutes of gameplay footage. All the check boxes are there, man. You can shoot people in the dick.
Shoot people in the dick.
That's so good. Yes. So as a reminder, we're really, really thankful for all of you that are tuning in to watch us and listen to us talk about things like this. Really appreciate it. If you ever want, you can jump in the comments and also be excited that they shoot people in the dick. We just want to hear from you. So anyways, yes, I'm super excited for that game. It's too many good games this year, man. This might be one of the greatest years of gaming I can remember. It's too many.
2007 all over again. Right. That was Halo 3. That was a good year for me.
Never played it.
Classic. Wow. Should we get into some news?
Sure. That one's definitely going in my segue clip reel, because that was probably the most subdued one ever, and I loved it.
Well, I don't know how to top it. I mean, you didn't play Halo, but Did you play with Legos?
I did at occasion. I've been watching Lego Masters.
All
Yeah.
right. So we got a
Oh, yeah.
new 18 plus Lego Avenger Tower. So those not familiar, Lego has it's basically like a black box label. So these are their adults only play sets, usually a little bit more complex. But you're getting a I don't say full to scale Avenger Tower, but it's they're building whatever building scale they call it that slots in with the other buildings. You're getting an Avenger Tower of that. It looks like you get a bevy of minifigures of all your favorite MCU characters, even some bad guys. But yeah, it's
This
it's
thing is so freaking amazing.
it's
And
pretty big.
I can't figure out why I love it so much because I don't normally love Lego stuff. Like I don't not that I don't love them. I just don't I resist the urge. But man,
Oh yeah, you can't
I'm
go
look
down the Lego hobby.
I'm looking at this one and it's like it's amazing because it's a building. I guess
Yeah,
I never really get to do a lot of Lego buildings, and I really like the idea of Lego buildings because I think
this is
aesthetically,
their
yeah,
third
aesthetically they
Marvel
look
one.
good.
And so they did the Sanctum last year, and then the Daily
They
Bugle the
do
year
the bugle,
before.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's cool, man. I like it a lot.
So,
I wonder, are all the other floors, do they have stuff on them?
usually with these sets, the back of it panels pop out, and there's probably about like 6 to 7 floors, and they do have stuff in them.
Okay, all
So
right.
you are building
Cool.
each floor layer by layer.
Nice. That's cool. All
So
right. I like it. I like it. I'll
so
consider it. What's it cost? $1,000?
this one for this price point, you're looking, or sorry, for this piece count, you're looking at about $500 to $600.
Wow. That's
Legos, ladies and
crazy.
gentlemen, appreciate more than gold, or have appreciated more than gold the past 20
That's
years. So an
crazy.
investment.
Crazy.
Next up, the biggest story of the week came out from the Hollywood Reporter. So the writer strike's over. Stuff starting to kick
Mhm.
back up into production, and with all this, Daredevil. I forgot the name of the show. Daredevil.
Born again.
Born Again is apparently getting rewritten. In a sense, they're making it more in line with what the Netflix show was, as opposed to the court drama that it apparently was originally in the first one of the script.
I mean, you're being really nice. Like the headline even says, Daredevil hits reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. It fired the directors and
It's
writers of
scrapped
this show.
everybody. They got a new showrunner. I did not get the name of the new showrunner.
They fired peeps, dude. That's how.
Apparently, with the last iteration, he did not put on the suit till episode 4.
Woo! People would be flipping out if he didn't
And
do that.
the rumor, or I guess the spoilerish take was he had retired being Daredevil, and he was just going to do law until an uptick of bad acting police officers using the Punisher logo were committing crimes around the city, and that's when he had to put on the suit to correct it.
Oh
I
man,
kind of like that premise a lot.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not completely
They
wrong.
kind of did it with the bullseye thing, though, right?
Yeah, they did. They kind of did already. So like, huh? But I think it's crazier. Like I've been seeing videos that have been exposing that like it's been because of this overhaul, this giant canning they did. It's been kind of leaking more and more that like Marvel has been taking a lot of shortcuts in their TV
Yes,
side lately. They've been not using traditional showrunners for the entire run of a season of something.
running and gunning.
Certain shows are getting just straight up made to order without a pilot. Like
Mhm.
they're not making pilots for these shows because they just don't have the time and the budget. So like they're just green lighting shows without anything like other than a pitch and stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of makes me feel like all our complaints about the last year or so have been pretty validated, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad because like, you know, I want them to always be good, but you know what this does remind me of? It reminds me that we're only one really great DC movie away from lighting a fire under Marvel's ass again. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem right now,
Blue Beetle.
dude. It's a pretty good movie.
That movie, I feel bad. That movie made no money.
I know it's a pretty good movie,
It
guys.
is a great movie, yeah.
So but we just need one to knock it out of the park, one more, and it's gonna go off, and then we might have to change the title of the show.
Superman's on deck, so
Yeah.
well, I guess Aquaman's on deck. And
James Gunn, yeah, it's gonna be a while. Marvel's got some time, but I'm really happy that they drew the line at screwing up Daredevil. You know what I mean? Like they look like Kevin Feige watched this footage that they had and was like, no, redo it. That is not like too many people now care about Daredevil, right? Like he's a thing now, man. Like people associate him with badassery.
Yeah. The show set a really high bar.
It's at a high bar for television, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bar that all the other shows on Netflix in that same universe could not meet. Like,
well, a lot of shows in general could
not even Daredevil season 2 could meet the bar that season 1 met. It's pretty funny, like how high of a bar that set. And yeah, Stephen S. DeKnight, who, by the way, he was the showrunner for Spartacus, and he used to work under Joss Whedon and stuff I think he was a producer on Angel, but he came out recently with some scathing discussions about like the shady practices that Disney has to like skirt paying full price on actors and stuff. And I guess it's like you have to pay like only like X percentage of scale minimum to actors for the first 3 seasons of any TV show, but then a bunch of pay bumps kick in on the 4th season.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney has historically had this like tradition
of like cutting or rebooting in a weird way.
Rebooting, and so Stephen S. DeKnight was pointing this out as it just so happens that Daredevil made it to 3 seasons, and now here we are with a brand new Daredevil show. You know what I mean? And so they're still bringing back some of the actors for it, but Charlie Cox doesn't necessarily get the pay bump that he would, or any of the other people. Stephen S. DeKnight is not.
Well, I mean,
this season of Daredevil.
I'll play devil's advocate and say, at that point, he's a free agent again, right? So money had to have been thrown in some capacity.
Yeah, fair.
To lock him down for 18 episodes, or
but
all of them.
I know that the sweetest thing about this show is how much Vincent D'Onofrio loves being the Kingpin.
He's a good Kingpin.
He loves it so much that he was trying to will this into existence for the last few years since they got canceled. You know, like he has wanted this nothing more than anybody, even the fans. And so I'm so happy that he gets to do this character, because I truly believe the Kingpin is probably one of the best villains in the MCU to date. Like, he really is. And I'm glad that he officially is in the MCU now. You know what I mean? Like, because there's some weird debate that he wasn't. But yeah.
No, he's in there.
I guess he always was, right? It's just they never acknowledged them until Hawkeye, right? Like,
yeah, they never really dealt with that part of crime.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, rounding out the news here. What do we got? Pulse Premium announced another 1027 day. I know nothing else about this except they did it last year on October 27th. Is it just like another PulseCon thing?
It's like it's like 1027 is a significant date because it's like, I think it's the address of their offices or something like that.
That's pretty funny.
But like they choose to like celebrate Hasbro and just take you into like, so PulseCon is like a convention where they like market all their coolest stuff to you, and show you all the newest stuff coming out, you know, because they don't really do that as hard at Comic-Con anymore, right? Like they started their own convention, like physical convention, right?
Yeah, they control their news cycle now.
Yeah, so now that's what they're doing with PulseCon. Now, excuse me, what 1027 is just a celebration of Hasbro. So it's really just kind of like taking you on a fun tour of Hasbro's facility and letting you see like the behind the scenes of how all their products get made and stuff like that, and seeing, and then they tease you with a few little new pipeline reveals, and then they'll like sell you like a couple things, but it's a mini live stream kind of convention, whatever. It's not really a convention. It's really just like, come look at our place and see the wonderland that is this toy factory. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty crazy though. Like to work at a toy company as lucrative as Hasbro, that's nuts, dude. You know what I mean? Like think about all the things they're making there that you grew up as a child loving. Like they do.
Yeah, well, I was a Lego kid, so it wasn't.
You weren't a Monopoly kid.
I like Monopoly Pure.
What about Nerf?
I guess I do like Nerf.
See, there's always something,
I mean,
dude.
I'm into that freaky Nerf, that homemade, 3D printed,
It's still
unregulated.
It had to start somewhere, Ricky. It had
maybe
to start
could kill a small child Nerf.
It has to start somewhere. I'm just saying, So it's just a really cool place that owns like all of the things. Like you don't have to like everything that Hasbro makes, but I promise you like something. You love something that
I
Hasbro
like
makes.
Super Soakers.
There you go. There you go. See, it's all it took. It's all it took. So yeah, we'll see more to come from that. Right now, the Giant Man is still kind of the thing they're.
Is that doing well? I hear people say it's not doing well.
It's doing fine. It is actually, by all metrics, I have tracked it against every single HasLab that has come out since Galactus. It is outperforming every single one that failed ever, and it is performing exactly on par with the G.I. Joe Sky Striker. Like you put those lines up against each other, and you can't see the other one behind it. It's pretty hilarious.
That was the last one, right?
No, the Sky Striker was
helicopter
2 years ago. No, the Sky Striker was 2 years ago. It was the 3.25 scale jet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The HISS tank was last year, and then this year was the helicopter, the Dragonfly. But yeah, the Sky Striker was, I think, the first G.I. Joe HasLab, and it's like the thing is, people get impatient and they want to see like the drama of it, but like a properly structured like crowdfund campaign, like it's really hard to get big numbers in the middle, right? Like the big numbers come at the beginning, and
there's a curve to it,
and then they come at the end. And so the good thing is this one has been steadily increasing every day. There's never been a day where it starts dropping. You know what I mean? So, they're at New York Comic Con right now promoting it. They're showing off all the heads and all the, it's there. It's going to happen. Will it get all the heads, all the tiers unlocked? I'm not sure anymore, because like the rate's not.
Well, what's the final? It's the zombie one and the scroll one.
Scroll one, right? Yeah.
But you get the faceplates.
I don't need the scroll one. Yeah, you get the faceplates regardless. Yeah. So as long as I get the zombie one, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. But right now it's on track to at least get the zombie one. So there you go. Yeah. And if anybody wants me to come talk about it, I'll show you my numbers.
We'll bust out the charts.
I got the charts, guys. I got the charts.
Well, we're gonna segue over into the spotlight, where we'll talk about a movie in detail that may or may not be moving the charts.
Sorry. I just blew out everyone's ears with that amazing reaction to your amazing segue. I'm sorry.
Well, what are we, Loki or creator first? What do you want to talk about?
Can we do the creator, because I like Loki?
So I just saw the creator today.
I know.
Earlier this afternoon, and you watched it when it came out, right? The day it came out.
I watched it the day before it came out. I went to a special screening.
Yeah, the Wednesday or whatever.
Yeah, I went to a special advanced IMAX screening of it.
So the creator, it's the latest film by Gareth Edwards. He's known for directing Monsters, Godzilla, and Rogue One's probably. Oh, a lot of people like Monsters, but Rogue One's probably his biggest movie, I would say.
Yeah, Rogue One's probably his best movie. I really love Rogue One. I love Monsters a lot too. I don't remember loving the ending of Monsters as much as I wanted to, but Rogue One, I think that movie made me realize that there are people out there, responsible directors that are capable of telling a Star Wars story for me at this time in my life.
He was the first solo movie outside of the. Well, I guess you count the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah,
He had a tall task and he succeeded. Let's say that.
He did. He really did. And so, but I think I think this guy is good at making good movies. I don't think he's good at making great movies.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Where do we even begin? I mean, what the premise of the creator? It's basically an AI battle between the East is pro AI and the West is anti AI, and there's a immaculate conception of a AI child. That's
There's not an immaculate conception.
An immaculate conception of an AI child. That is the linchpin to winning the war for either side.
You don't they're not conceived, and it was not conceived immaculately. she was made by somebody. That happened. It's okay. Yeah, it's a movie where for some reason some people hate AI and some people like AI, and then one time a big explosion happened in LA, and certain people decided to blame it on the AI.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's like Terminator without the time travel.
Yeah, you know what? It's also like this show called Humans that ran from 2015 to 2018.
Never watched it.
And it stars Gemma Chan. and it's about a AI that eventually becomes sentient, and they start out as people helping our human race. Then they become sentient, and eventually somebody makes secretly a child AI, and they're trying to keep that a secret from the rest of the world because of all the crazy implications behind it. And so they're trying to do their best to gather up this resistance against the humans who hate them while protecting this AI child. Oh, wait. That's also the description for AI.
Yeah, that fits for this movie too.
Yeah. I know. So I'm like, how the hell did Gemma Chan do two of them? She did it twice. It's so weird. It's so weird to me. The only difference is in the last one, Gemma Chan got to play the AI. In this one, she played the human that made the AI.
She plays an AI in this movie too for a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I like this movie. I don't think I loved it, but I did enjoy it. I mean, just visually, this District 9-esque world is kind of up my alley. Story aside, I would love to see another movie set in this universe. I just think it's just,
I think that's the problem I have with the movie is it doesn't have anything new to say. Is it pretty? Yeah, it's pretty, but I don't need this movie to see that level of pretty. You know what I mean? And that I think is where I don't think they did enough good foundation of lore building to make me care to see another story in this universe specifically.
I think they did.
Really? Did they?
Yeah, there's like a whole AI religion and temples and shit. Like it's these whole robotics.
There's a show called Mrs. Davis on Peacock. It's quite awesome. It's about everybody who worships an AI that's taken over the world. I'm saying, like, when I say there's nothing new that's in this movie, that's what I mean. Like, I can cite you to
Other stories.
another story for every single bit of uh lore that they put into this movie. So that's my problem with it, is it just feels very derivative of a lot of things. And it doesn't really have anything meaningful to add to the conversation. Like, my big takeaway from that movie is I think they want you to know that when people look like kids, you shouldn't try to kill them. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's a good rule in life. Is
but yeah,
don't kill
but
kids.
but do you need a movie to teach you that? I mean, like, I guess some people do,
I mean,
right?
I went into this knowing you didn't like it, so I was trying to go in with that lens of like, well, what about this is like bad or terrible? And honestly, like I think it's fine. I think it's a fine movie. I
I
don't
think there
necessarily think
I think
everything has to have a underlying subtext on what it's trying to say or
it has to have a cohesive plot, though. And there are some giant plot holes in that movie that make no freaking sense.
I'll I'll counter with this. Had this movie been an anime, a video game, same
It,
story, same everything shot for shot, frame for frame, I think people would love it.
I don't think so. I think this movie read as, I one time saw an anime. Let me see if I can make it.
I think
Um,
they did. Like I think he did.
but they've seen anime with more thought out, like, story and details. That's what I'm saying. Like, so for example, like, so there's a part in the movie where uh John David Washington's character, what's his name? I forget in the movie. What was the character's name, or the main guy's name in the movie?
It's Joshua, right?
Yeah, Joshua. Sorry. When Joshua goes to that temple in was it Nepal?
Mhm.
And it's, occupied by AI people and stuff, and he goes and finds out that his wife has been suspended in a coma for, blah blah years, like 5 years, something like
5
that.
years. Mhm.
And the monks are like, "Oh yeah, she's only like this because we have taken a vow to never harm a human life." And, like, it's a good thing you're here, but, like, here's the thing, all the people that brought Joshua there have no problem killing human lives. So these monks have
Well,
known that
no,
people,
no, that's not what they said. They took a vow to not kill her specifically. She is their creator.
the monks took a vow to do that. The monks
He
did.
says we all. I mean, he phrases it, we all took a vow not to kill our creator. In that sense, yes.
It's
But
really dumb.
sure.
Yeah, it's
They
really dumb. If they knew that they were leaving her in a state of unconscious limbo, where she's nothing, her brain's not working, and her, like, nothing, she can't function. There's no good reason for that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense other than just have her there when he shows up. It's just a really weird detail in that movie that doesn't, like, also, like, when they're sending the crazy bomb across the bridge to,
crazy
like, kill them.
bombs freaking legit
Dude, they didn't need that bridge anymore. Why didn't they just blow up the bridge so they can't send those things after them?
because it looks cooler. I mean, if you go down that route, like
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of
not
routes.
every.
Like, how about when the US military performs a stealth operation at the beginning of the movie? And by stealth, I mean they've got a bunch of glowing lights all over their bodies. Like, what are you doing? Like, it just there's so many
Well, I
things.
mean, they're you're taking into account your stealth against AI, right? Like it's
At the
they
end
can
of the
detect you on a certain level.
at the end of the movie, when the giant, like, machine, I forget what the thing up in space is called.
Nomad.
Nomad. When Nomad's like, when they know it's about to get blowed up, so what do? Oh, they fire nukes at all their AI targets that they always knew about. So if they always knew where all the AI targets were, what was the whole point of the beginning of trying to locate the locations of all the AI targets? They clearly already knew where they all were.
They knew
So
where most of them were, not all of them.
I'm just saying, it's just like,
Well, they knew because they did take some data from what is it, Alfie, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't like I see the plot. I'm not gonna say there's not the plot holes aren't there, but I think
What
they're
about what about when the border patrol had Alfie there, and he's like, "Hey, take off your hat, bro. Can you not see the same thing we all see? There's a giant hard drive right there in her head. Like, that was
I
such a
mean, there
bad
was
camera
people with
angle.
like fucked up arms and not much so bad things. There were
Now
people in there with um augments to their body, robotic augments to their body. So
I'm just saying,
it looked cool. It all looked cool.
it all looks cool. I'm not saying it doesn't look cool. I'm just saying the soldiers should have been wearing night vision instead of a bunch of glowing lights. There's just a lot of things that were sacrificed for the sake of looking cool, is what I'm saying. Like, and common sense, it was just kind of thrown out the window, and that's what kind of really weirded me out. Is like there was just common sense decisions that didn't sit right with me. Like, I love Allison Janney, and I was really kind of just bummed out at her character. It was so one dimensional through the whole movie. There was just a lot of weird things choice wise that kept me from wanting to love this. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to love the movie for like the first half hour. I really did. And then at some point down the line, I'm just like, why did John Davis Washington's hair change from that scene, and then in the next scene it's back in the cornrows? Like, by the end of the
later.
no, I'm talking about when he came to see his wife.
Oh yeah, he undid his cornrows.
And then in the next scene they're back.
Are they?
Yes.
No.
They're back. Yes. Oh, you can find that. That's on the internet. People are freaking out because they don't understand how that works. Yes. I feel like they rearranged some scenes that they were meant to be in the past, and then they redid an edit, and they're like, nobody will care. Those cornrows ain't coming out that fast, man. I'm just saying. Anyways, it's okay. Like I get it. Like,
is it better or worse than Prometheus?
It's on the same level for me.
On the same plane.
There's just some really bad science and logic. Like, what? Like, Maya, why does Maya need her DNA to make this thing, her baby's DNA? And like, also
her project, man. I don't know.
And also secretly, like, why, if she's trying to be like on the down low and stuff, why is she using her face data out there in the world and letting people know what she looks like? Like, it's just this thing.
I mean, I would buy a Gemma Chan robot. Do you buy a Gemma Chan robot?
I mean, that's the whole premise of Humans. I'm telling you, go watch Humans. It's hilarious. Like, it's really good. Like, the whole show, Humans, starts with such a better hook in that, like, this family buys a Gemma Chan robot to, like, help out around the house. And like, it's like a car dealership, right? And so when the family walks away, the guy making the sale, he's like, he looks at the dad, the father of the household, and he's like, hey, just so you know, here's the extra manual. And it's like, yeah, you know what it is. It's the naughty bits. It's the naughty bits manual, right? And he gives it to him. And then as he's leaving, the wife's like, hey, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's nothing. Just, So for the first few episodes, the dad keeps this secret manual to himself, and he's having problems at home with his wife. And then eventually it happens. The wife and kids go out for the evening, and he turns on the whole thing, and he has a lot of fun with the Gemma Chan robot. And then it's only shortly after that everybody in the family realizes that this robot is sentient. And the shenanigans go from there. But it actually builds. So it starts at this weird, like, very tight, family drama, but then it expands into a universe that's very similar to what we saw in The Creator. It from where it starts to where it grows is a really fun journey. And for me, I felt like we were kind of robbed of the journey on The Creator, because like we just got told everything like right up front. You know what I mean? And to me, that's, I don't know, that's never
Gemma
fun.
Chan plays like this, the Eternals. She's a robot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Don't Worry, Darling?
Yep.
I mean, she's not a robot in that, but it's kind of
brainwashed, kind of, yeah.
like AI simulate. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a thing, right? It's a thing she likes to do.
She picks a she picked the lane.
She's Lane, yeah. But
well, let me just I like I know I always like to rank things. Monsters, Godzilla, this, and Rogue One. Where are you putting it for Gareth Edwards?
I would put this
Rogue One's number one.
just above Godzilla.
Godzilla 3?
No, Godzilla's 3.
Okay.
Sorry, no, Godzilla's 4. Godzilla's 4. Yeah, that's what I meant. There's only 4 movies, right?
Okay.
I would put this at 3. Do I hate this movie? I hate it slightly less than Prometheus. I mean,
it's something that I could definitely like. I can see myself watching it, and like if my dad's here, I can see my dad like, oh, that running bomb robot's pretty cool.
Those are real, by the way. Those are real.
Those are real?
Okay, yes,
that's pretty scary.
Yes, those are not. That's not fiction. Those are real. By the way, Gareth Edwards actually did try to film a lot of this in practical. He didn't use a lot of green screen for this movie.
No, yeah, I went to the panel. He talked about this at Comic-Con, and
yeah,
apparently they gave him weeks to just go around the world with his cast and like maybe like 10 people total, including the cast, to go film ad hoc at locations across the globe.
That's cool. That's cool.
And a lot of that movie was done like on a camera you could buy at Best Buy. And I don't know if this movie's not making a lot of money, but it also did not cost a lot of money to make. And for better or for worse, it is kind of this interesting project that shows how far your dollar can go in
for sure
movie making industry.
And it's really beautiful. It is a visually spectacular movie to see. And that's how I felt about Prometheus also, you know what I mean? So like, do I hate Prometheus as much as I hate, movies that are just like way worse in either the plot or the special effects? It's hard to say. Like, the reason I think I hate Prometheus so much is because I know how expensive it was, and it makes me angry when movies are super expensive and are stupid. Now, the more I learned,
Ridley Scott did Prometheus, right?
He didn't. Yeah. But the more I learned about how guerrilla style Gareth Edwards did this movie, the harder it was for me to hate it. Like I hate Prometheus. You know what I mean? Like, I can respect the craft that went into what was on screen.
I think for me that has more weight in my liking of the movie.
And that's fair enough. Like when I was younger, that's what mattered more to me. But as I got older, it's the plot points that keep me interested, because eventually all the pretty things are going to look the same. Eventually it just becomes a sea of pretty. And so you have to start picking out the pretty, like the details of it. And so that's just where I am. Like, that's, you'll get there, and one day I'll be like, you see, because sometimes you need more than the Fast and Furious. You do. Sometimes you do. Yeah. Now, that said, do you want to switch over to Loki?
I want to switch over to Loki.
Okay, I just do want to say about my review about the Creator. For anybody who's interested in watching the Creator, go watch Humans on AMC. It was on Sci-Fi. It's great. Gemma Chan. It's early in her career. Fantastic. She's actually really great in that show. Not just like easy on the eye. She's quite an amazing actress in that show. So that's when I fell in love with Gemma Chan. But anyways, back to Loki. Loki episode 2 was called Breaking Brad.
Zaniac.
This episode was basically, it kind of like jumped a little bit in time from the last episode, and the TVA were hunting down Agent B5, who we just met last episode for the first time. He was kind of a dick. He was shown in one scene like doing this really weird intimate head touch with Commander Dox, and you're like, what's that about? And so it turns out, like, when Agent B5 was sent out to go find Sylvie, after getting the devastating news that every timeline is real, like all these people exist, their real lives and stuff, and all the TVA agents were ripped from their a timeline. They're just variants and stuff. He decided to go rogue. He went AWOL and set up shop as a famous Hollywood actor in the 1980s, who was on tour promoting his movie Zaniac. And that's where we meet up with him. It's kind of a weird jump from where we were at the last episode. But yeah, then Mobius and Loki have to do shenanigans, track this guy down, and then they capture him, and he's basically arrested and detained at the TVA for being an AWOL agent. And and then there's some fun interrogation practices that happen, and eventually they go and find out Sylvie has a new life in McDonald's. And meanwhile, Ouroboros discovers that unless they can find the original creator or possibly Miss Minutes to do the override, everyone at the TVA will eventually die because all the branching timelines are overloading.
Time loom is going to explode.
Yeah, the temporal loom is going to explode. So they just want to remind you that eventually we got to get a Kang or Miss Minutes. I think Miss Minutes is going to come before Kang.
She's definitely cheaper.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Probably less problematic though.
Probably.
Her tweets today were never pretty problematic.
Tara Strong is pretty great. Yeah. So there was a lot of things in between, but that was the general summary of the whole episode, right? And so I think what's funny is I summed up that episode in 2 minutes, but I guess what really is the meat and potatoes of the episode is really just watching these actors act, right? I don't think I really cared about the plot of this episode at all.
I really was lost with the plot of this episode.
Yeah, right. It was clear. It was clearer when I explained it just now, right?
Yeah.
Because the Docs is just out there destroying billions and billions of people. She's erasing all timelines to possibly help with the temporal loom, and also just because they were trained, that's their job, right? Is all variant timelines must be destroyed unless they're unless they follow the sacred timeline. And so they mentioned that Agent B15 or Hunter B15 is the one that explains and pleads and gets them to stop killing pruning timelines because it's billions and billions of people. And so you're like, oh cool, that's good. I really like that. Right, we were here a week ago and I was saying I really like how cooler heads prevailed in that moment. And the judge
ended up not happening.
Well, Judge Gamble did decree that they need to stop pruning, but it was Docs that went and got everybody. And so next thing you know, this episode climaxes with Loki and Mobius finding Sylvie and then finding out that Docs is somewhere pruning all timelines at once. And so they go and they have a little silly special effects battle and destroy all the the bad guys that are pruning billions and billions. And the problem I was having is it's are these really the stakes? Are you guys you're trying to save billions and billions of people? Because I don't care, and I feel concerned that I don't care. And I'm is that just because are you guys out of ideas for raising stakes after Infinity War? Because
it's
you know what I mean?
I mean, they say genocide, right? Don't they say it?
I don't remember if they said genocide last week, but it is. It's killing entire timeline.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I don't know if I care. And then I was like, well, maybe that'd be kind of cool if all right, maybe a superhero from this world comes in to try to fix it, right? They're trying to,
Yeah.
And then it's well, that if I prune a timeline, do you know I pruned you? You know what I mean? If you just stop existing,
yeah.
Do you know you ever existed?
I know. It was hard. It was hard to reconcile the stakes that they're telling you are happening versus the mundane things you're seeing on screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're just watching a bunch of people in the office be really quiet. And I'm like, I don't know, man. So I feel like this is kind of Marvel's problem that they're having right now is like they're trying so hard to have stakes all the time. And I'm like, bro, I'm fine with just watching Mobius and Loki eat a slice of key lime pie. Like, I love watching these actors act. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I think this episode was an excellent uh favor to the guy who plays Brad because it felt like, they met this actor at a bar. They thought, hey, you're really cool, bro. Can we give you help with your demo reel? We're going to give you one episode where you just get to act against Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. And by the end of the episode, you won't matter anymore to the story and you'll be gone. And that's really what happened, right? Like, that's
yeah. Well, I'll say this. Like, it's weird that I really like the first 2/3 of this episode because it puts Loki back on the pedestal. He's the god of mischief.
It reminds you of a very
He
important thing, right? Which is
he
that
can do
when
cool shit and he's a villain.
he can do cool shit when he's not at the TVA headquarters.
Yeah.
Remember, there's something preventing him from doing cool shit there.
Yeah, powers don't work in the TVA.
Yeah, but
So
if he gets to go anywhere else, he is a god,
To see him play with his food with Brad at the beginning, Zaniac, and then to see, I mean, he's still a smart guy. To see him use his brain and the interrogation's cool.
Yeah.
Like at the end, like when they're stopping the time bombs, I want to see two Lokis mop the floor. Like I don't want a Loki to wound somebody. Turn them into smoke. Like end it.
Yeah.
Because you can. Like don't play with your food.
The stakes were just weird. And it just made it hard for me to care about what he and Sylvie were doing. It's just like, okay, you're gonna beat these random people, and
I am happy they do touch on like their relationship, and it's like it's weird, and it's like it's weird in a way where.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's uncommon, like or I honestly unnatural. That has bad connotation, but it really is like loving yourself to the nth degree.
That scene where Mobius and Brad are sharing McDonald's milkshakes and watching Loki and Sylvie outside, and he's explaining all of what you just said to him. That scene is so much better than the scene at the end of the movie where they're fighting a bunch of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every scene in this episode where it's just people talking was like the best thing ever. And like the framing of every shot, like the composition of everything in the TVA is so gorgeous. Everything is so gorgeous. Stop feeling that you need to give us action all the time. That's what I'm saying. I could have been totally fine with this episode without having any of the action. Like
that could almost be a plot point where it's like, well, shit, we got to fight Loki in here because he's gonna, you know what I mean? Like, make it interesting in that regard, but don't, like, if you're gonna put him out there, let me, like the Hulk fighting, bad guys. Unless it's a strong dude, like it's not no match, no contest.
Here's the thing. We all know that the whole reason this show really exists is to remind us that Kang is coming. Like we know that that's where this ends, right? Like Kang is coming again at the end of this one. And you guys are just going to keep jerking us around with this for like a couple of years. Kang is coming. And it's a little too in your face, guys. It's a little.
Wait, Kang Dynasty is next year, isn't it? Or is it 2025?
I think it's 2025. But my point is, if we know that's where it comes, just make the middle parts different and make it entertaining. And this honestly is why I still think She-Hulk is the best show, because it didn't try to end with She-Hulk saving the world. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't about that. Like I feel weird every time Spider-Man has to save the world. It's like, why he got to do that? Why can't Iron Man do that? Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't need to be the case all the time. So I really just want a show where Mobius and Loki are riding a jet ski. Just give me that, bro.
Well, I from where I see it going, I think if there's infinite Kangs, right? that implies that there's good Kangs out there, right? And I think that's what the search is going to be, is finding the ones that want to help.
I don't think I don't think that has to mean that, because, like, for example, if you look at it from the Rick and Morty point of view, a lot of lame Ricks get murdered intentionally. They cull them, they get rid of them. So, like, just because they did exist doesn't mean they do exist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. I don't know that I care, though. I don't care, because, like, it's still going to be icky when Jonathan Majors shows up, right? It's a little icky.
Well, does it stop becoming icky if he's acquitted?
Ask Johnny Depp, bro.
A lot of people like John.
I know. I'm just saying.
He came out and his stock went up after that article, or after that trial.
Did it though? Like, what movies is he in?
Yeah, that's true. If they bring him back for the inevitable Pirates 7, his stock is fine. Say that.
Fair enough. But yeah, I don't have anything else I really wanted to talk about.
I'm not bummed about Loki. Like, I'm not.
Neither am I.
The highs are not to whatever drug relation. It's the, it doesn't hit the same the second time around.
It's mellow. It's a little bit more mellow. Yeah.
And I like the to your point, the bits, the character moments are great in the show. Just like I'll stand by, the character moments in Secret Invasion are great. But the connecting bits it's kind of what's getting, I don't want to say they're cracks, and I don't want to say they're flaws, but they're just not, they're not hitting the same as they did last season.
I am so ready for What If and X-Men 97. You don't even understand how ready I am.
I don't know if I'm ready for What If, but I'm down to get into what.
Because here's the thing about What If. It's just going to be in isolated stories every episode, so you can just enjoy the story.
But they're not, though. They're going to connect in some way, right? And
they can connect, but they don't have to connect.
They're going to connect.
They don't have to connect all the time.
Connect.
They don't. But I'm just excited for having stories that aren't necessarily in this longest of long form all the time, Mm-hmm. And that's like, I don't mind X-Men 97, because, like, they are long form in a way, but each episode is its own adventure. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, I'm a little jaded right now. Like, I want a little bit more from my Loki. I want to be excited about Loki, is I think the problem.
What shows did we have this year? Was it just Secret Invasion?
We had Secret Invasion, and we had Hawkeye technically ended right before the new year, right?
Yeah.
Hawkeye ended before the new year.
I feel like we're forgetting one.
Wait, Hawkeye was last year, right?
Yeah, last Christmas, 2 Christmases ago.
Wait, it was 2 ago, huh? You're right. Yeah, you're right. My bad. What other shows were this year? She-Hulk was this year.
Oh, was it? No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
No.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it was last year.
Wow. Yeah.
I can't remember. On that note, just D+ and all. They raised their price like by a lot. It went up from like $8 to like $15 a month.
Yeah, I think I got locked into like a plan a while ago. So yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna after this and maybe end of the year. It might be an off and on situation. That feels kind of weird.
Yeah. Hard to say.
But give me a 1 through 10 on Loki season 2 as a whole. You a 6, a 7?
It's better than Secret Invasion. Everything's better than Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
This is somewhere in like the 6 range for me, 6 or 7.
It's like a Mountain Mike's pizza for you.
I would. What are you talking about? That's not a 6. That pizza's amazing.
Okay, so
That pizza is like a 9 at least, bro.
it's like a Mizithra at Cheesecake or at a Spaghetti Factory.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Like it's still good, but I don't need it. I don't need it in my life, all the time.
You shouldn't have it in your life all the time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's all I got. I don't know, unless you want to talk about other things besides that. If you want to talk about like my October contributions or whatever.
Oh yeah, let's touch on that real quick. I thought you had them like up and ready to show.
Oh, do I have? I don't have them.
Well, give me vamp for a second, and I'll pull them up.
Okay. Yeah. So we mentioned many times on the show before, I do toy photography on occasion, or I've made toy videos and stuff, but I've been in a lull for a while. I've been busy with a lot of other things, but I decided to take the ACBA community, which stands for Articulated Comic Book Art. They put out a annual challenge in October called October, where it's very much like Inktober, if anybody's familiar with that. They put out a bunch of prompts in advance before the month starts, and one for every 31 days of October. And the goal is to create a piece of art based on each of those prompts for 31 days if you can, or just as few as you can, whatever. So this one is the one you're showing right now. I called this one Rooftop Rumble, and it is for today. This is the 13th day of October. The prompt was pixel power. So I did a picture inspired by Spider-Man, the video game that we were talking about earlier today.
Some good webs.
Thanks.
Some good toe articulation.
He's got that toe articulation. I didn't actually articulate the toe in that shot, but yeah.
The front one's kind of articulated a little bit.
Do you have any questions on this one, or you just
are you using flight stands on these guys?
I am. I actually I creatively remove them digitally.
I just purchased flight stands for my desk.
Nice.
So
nice.
I will have jumping Spider-Mans coming soon.
Nice.
Let's check out one more.
Check out one more.
This Iron Man's looking pretty slick. So the little props you have, it's basically a Tony Stark workbench with the helmet, and you see a Tony Stark forearm in the background, right? But I'm kind of fascinated with these little props you got.
He's holding a hammer in the background too, if you notice. Yeah, I got a lot of props, and I wanted to do a shot this was for Origins, was the theme, and I wanted to do a shot that was different than your normal toy photo. I wanted to actually like focus on accessories instead, like focus on a really nice deep shot of them. Also, because I couldn't fit the Tony Stark head on the Mark I body after we talked about it, and I thought I could. But I actually was trying to recreate this shot from the Iron Man movie, where this is the first piece of armor he makes after he realizes that they're not going to get out of there alive unless they start making weapons for the 10 rings. By they, I mean Tony Stark and Jensen. And so he does the hammer thing, makes this helmet, and he plops it down on the table in front of Jensen. And I noticed in the table in the movie is filled with far less things. It's just got a lot of wires on the table. But I really wanted to make it look like an actual workspace. So there is a prop that is a full. It's like you can buy it at like Michael's. It's like a toolbox,
like a dull toolbox.
Yeah, that comes with a bunch of metal tools.
Oh, it looks really cool.
And so I plopped those all over the table. This table is actually a custom table that I was given that is meant to be a Iron Man workbench. So like that Avion bottle is actually glued on there.
I was going to ask about that. It's like, man, 10 Rings is providing
I know, right?
Bottled purified water.
There's also like some Iron Man like prototype stuff under that book. So, and like a sprinkled donut. So this is supposed to be his workbench at like home, but like I covered the donut.
You dressed it up.
Yeah, I covered the donut with a book. I dressed it all up, and I think I'm really happy with this one. Like, I know at the beginning of the week you were like obsessed with the Ermagerd picture, and I was like, just wait till you see more of the week. And so, do you think I outdid the Ermagerds?
Yes, good lighting, good depth of field, appropriate depth of field. One thing I do want to ask though, so I noticed on the Tony Stark arm, you have some flashing around the hand. So for flashing is kind of the little excess plastic that is remaining after the piece comes out of the mold.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, is
Uh,
that something like, let's say you're in Super Toy Photo Contest of the year? Do people trim that off or do they not? Like, what's the consensus? Because I can see the argument for not wanting to touch because it is a toy, right? But I
yeah.
can also see if you want to keep it like perfect.
I mean, there's only so far down the rabbit hole you can go, right? Like, if you think about it, like, this picture would be perfect if you didn't see the joints in his wrist or the joints in his arms too. You know what I mean? Like, but then at that point, you're just putting a real person there. So, like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I kind of like the toyness of it. You know, like that's
Mhm.
kind of the whole point of it. But yeah, I didn't even notice that, honestly. Like, that's not even his hand, just so you know. It's just a random hand I had laying around. I just, it was a hand.
Looks a little white.
It was a hand. Well, it was meant to color match. It's actually from a different Wolverine toy. Uh, I used a Logan toy for today's picture. I don't the and
Tony Stark's pretty veiny.
and I use and I use one for yesterday's picture too. Like, they're both Wolverine. So like
Is this the cowboy hat Wolverine?
this is tank top Wolverine. But I did just for legitimacy, I did put Tony Stark's head on it. You just can't see it in the picture. But if you look at the behind the scenes, it is Tony Stark's head on there. It's hard to see from far away. But yeah, so I think they're both Logan hands, but I took that hand off Old Man Logan and put it on him. I used the Old Man Logan body for one of the guys that Spider-Man was beating in today's picture. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm glad that you appreciate the pictures that I've been doing lately. I know you're really excited about them. I'm having a blast. If you guys want to check them out, they're on Denix Media on Instagram. I'm trying to do one every day of the week. I did miss last Sunday because I just got swamped, but I'm planning to make it up so that there will be 31 posts by the end of the month. Even if, I didn't do one specifically on that day, I will make it up.
Go check them out. Give them a like.
Yeah.
You can also find us at Denix Media everywhere else. YouTube, Patreon. Kick us a few bucks. Maybe get some extra stuff and some extra photos that way. Either way, keep in touch with us. What do we got coming on next week? Loki season 2 episode 3.
I think you should also go watch some Gen V, dude. I think you should.
I got a long weekend ahead of me if I want to watch.
I got 4 episodes in, and I don't love it. It's kind of like CW version of The Boys, but there are characters that I do like a lot. So
it's like Boys 3.5 from what I'm gathering.
Yes, you're getting like filler stuff. Yeah. Kind of like Boba Fett. Kind of like Boba Fett was to Mando, right? Like it's like that. So I think that's actually a really good comparison. You get some things that are neat, but you do also get like colorful Vespas.
Okay, colorful Vespas. I'm
sold.
Really.
Not really. You don't, but like on par with that,
Okay.
But go check it out. And then we can talk about Gen V and Loki next week.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, with that, true believers, been a great show.
Yeah. Enough said.